All right, everyone to your places.
We're ready in here, sir.
How are we in the studio?
Stand by, sir. Hit the lights.
Yes, sir. Striking.
Quiet on the set, please. We're on in 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Arlington Weekly News. Thanks for joining us. I'm Craig Nolan.
Buenas noches.
Step
I
on
love
when
the
you step
haircut.
on your-
Love the
Thanks.
haircut. I'm Daniel
Appreciate that.
Pineda.
My name's Adele Quo.
Notice my haircut.
Very nice.
Appreciate that.
Last week it was too long.
Anyway, here we go. This is our Flag Day show for 2017, believe it or not. We're actually, our tape date tonight is actual Flag Day, I think, right? Am I right about that? Yes, sir, Mr. Bill. And so here we go. We've got News and Community Bulletin Board, and Adele here. Adele, take two. Quo is here with
It's Easy Being
I
Green.
can't believe I messed that all
How
up
can you
again.
mess it up?
CBB, as I mentioned, Denise is going to be talking about King Lear tonight. She saw the play. Our News for Seniors segment, and then a roll-in, and that's our show. But before we go, a social media reminder from my partner.
Absolutely, Craig. You can watch our wonderful telecast, Arlington Weekly News, on our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Arlington Weekly News. And the number 1, also facebook.com/Arlington Weekly News. And on to the news, Craig.
All right, here we go. I hope you're bearing up under the heat. Our first news item tonight. On Tuesday, June 13, Virginia held primary elections for the Democratic and Republican nominees for governor and lieutenant governor. And the results look like this. For governor, the Republican winner was Ed Gillespie, and the Democrats, it was Ralph Northam. In Arlington, voters also chose Ed Gillespie as their Republican preference, and Ralph Northam was their preference for Democrat. For lieutenant governor, the Democratic winner was Justin Fairfax, and the Republicans, it was Jill Vogel. In Arlington, voters also chose Justin Fairfax as their Democratic preference and Jill Vogel as their Republican preference. There's some election news for you. Senor Pineda.
Well, Craig, ahead of Tuesday's primary elections, online hyper-local news site ARL Now has reported that several residents received text messages encouraging them to vote. The messages also contain information on where to vote, and in some cases, the information provided was incorrect. The group that calls itself Next Gen Virginia appears to have sent the text messages. According to ARL Now, Arlington's Director of Elections had no information on Next Gen Virginia. She instead urged residents to visit vote.virginia.gov to confirm their polling place. Craig.
And Daniel, also in our news items, well, from local politics to international business, Arlington has been Virginia's top county when it comes to tourism economic impact since 2009. The county had a chance to show the world why at the U.S. Travel Association's IPW 2017 trade show. According to U.S. Travel Association, this event is the industry's top international marketplace and biggest creator of travel in the U.S. To the U.S. as well. The Arlington Convention and Visitors Service, ACVS, conducted nearly 80 one-on-one buyer and media appointments at the D.C.-based event, plus hosted a travel trade reception at Waterview in Roslyn, where almost 150 people attended. In 2015, tourism, easy for you to say, was responsible for creating nearly 26,000 jobs and over $3.1 billion with a B in local spending. Hopefully, we'll get the same results or better this year. That's good news for Arlington. Daniel.
Well, Craig, several county officials helped out local business owners at last week's huge trade. Also last week, it took just one county representative to help one of our finest and newest residents. Officer Ernesto happened to walk by the corner of 12th Street North and North Garfield Street at about 2 a.m. on Saturday, June the 10th, when she noticed a crowd surrounding a car. When the officer went closer to see what was happening, she noticed people with flashlights searching the car engine. Turns out there was a kitten hiding in the engine compartment. Eventually, Officer Ernesto managed to lure the kitty out of her hiding place. The felonious feline, now called grease monkey, was whisked away to safer and cozier accommodations by the Animal Welfare League of Arlington shortly afterwards. Felonious feline.
Well, anyway, she saved the kitty. Good
Yep.
for her. That's good news. A good news story. All right. We'll be back with our CBB file right after we hear from Adele Quo and another installment of
It's Easy Being Green.
Here's Adele with her bee.
What's that?
That's a pollinator.
Buzzworthy Arlington news and events to
Buzzworthy.
announce just in time for this year's National Pollinator Week, June 19 to the 25th. Joe Tree Frog and friends want you to know about the birds and the bees. No, not that conversation. That's not Easy Being Green material. But Joe wants you to know that there's over 200,000 species of pollinators, such as bees, butterflies, bats, beetles, and birds. Without pollinators, we simply wouldn't have certain crops. 75% of crop plants grown for food, beverages, fibers, condiments, spices, and medicines need pollinators to move pollen from flower to flower to produce seed and fruit. The next time you go grocery shopping, thank our bees for pollinating apples and asparagus to watermelons, and thank the bats for pollinating avocados, bananas, mangoes, peaches, and much more. The next time you sit down for a meal, Joe and friends want you to know that 1 out of every 3 bites of food that we eat and the beverages we drink is delivered to us by pollinators. Pollinators help produce vanilla, chocolate, coffee, and many more, oh my. Habitat destruction and fragmentation, pesticide use, invasive species, climate change, and disease threaten our pollinators. Joe says you can make a difference. Plant pollinator-friendly gardens filled with native flowering plants that provide nectar and pollen that are 4 times more attractive to native pollinators than our non-native plants. Reduce or eliminate your pesticide use. Build and install bat and bird houses, as well as beehives, or create a bee condo. Help restore native plant communities not only in your yard, but volunteer to help your parks restore native plant communities in our parks and along our roadways to help connect our pollinators through green corridors to preserves and other natural areas. Celebrate National Pollinator Week in Arlington by attending one of the following events. The Family-Friendly Pollinator Patrol on Saturday, June 17th from 11 a.m. to 12 noon. You can register online at parks.arlingtonva.us or call 703-228-4747. On Tuesday, June 20th at 10 a.m., a 2,200 square foot pollinator patch of nearly 500 native plants will be planted at Bluemont Park in recognition of National Pollinator Week. And Wednesday, June 21st, from 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m., a reception and awards presentation at the Lear Art Center. The Flights of Fancy exhibit coincides with National Pollinator Week. It will feature art inspired by the center's bee and butterfly garden. So remember, it's Easy Being Green, celebrating our pollinator friends.
Wow, that's a lot of great events, huh?
Save those pollinators.
Yeah.
We need them. It's hard to believe how many things we eat in a day that wouldn't be there without pollinators.
Be a very strange meal or a very empty store.
It would be. Good stuff. We appreciate it. Thanks, Adele, as always, for your EBG segment, EBG. All right, moving right along as promised now, our CBB, News for Seniors file. Well, whether you're interested in learning more about rescued kitty castaway, grease monkey, adopting a cute critter of your own, or practicing down dog in a room full of cats, then the Animal Welfare League has an event just for you. On June 27th, Beth A. Wolf Yoga and AWLA will host Kitten and Adoptable Pet Yoga. This event runs from 7 to 8 p.m. at AWLA's location. They're located at 2650 South Arlington Mill Drive. You can visit their Facebook page, www.facebook.com/PG/AWLA Arlington Events, and look under upcoming events for details and tickets. The fee for this one is $20. Daniel.
Well, Craig, Opera Nova will perform a summer serenade on Sunday, that's June the 18th at 4 p.m. This performance is a reunion of Opera Nova's expanding senior audience. Performers include two of Opera Nova's best residents, Jose Sasson, a baritone and conductor of Opera Nova's children operas, and Milena Glechik, a soprano from Russia who also happens to be an assistant to Placido Domingo when she's not performing with Opera Nova. The event will be in their senior-friendly Our Savior Lutheran Church. That's at 825 South Taylor Street. For ticket, visit the church. Seats range from $5 to $10 or pay what you will. To RSVP, call 703-536-7557 or email mcdm1@verizon.net. A lot of great information there, correct?
There is indeed, and also, if you arrive for the Opera Nova event about an hour ahead of time at 3 p.m., you can get an update on the organization. Miriam Miller, the president of Opera Nova, will report on recent progress and host an open discussion on participation as a remedy for civic isolation. Again, that's coming up Sunday, June 18 at Our Savior Lutheran Church. Daniel.
And Craig, bring your friends and family to the Central Place Plaza to enjoy live music at the Roslyn Rocks concert series from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. every Thursday in June. You can enjoy the music and atmosphere of downtown Roslyn. Proceeds from the wine and beer purchases will go towards ASPAN, a charity organization striving to end homelessness in Arlington. Visit their website, roslynva.org/do/roslyn-rocks-concert-series for more information. So mark your calendars every June.
Every June. And finally, in our CBB file, well, with spring garden season fast approaching and in full swing, really, start your garden plans right now on June 28 from 7 to 8 p.m. at Arlington Central Library. You can join ediblelandscapes.com and we'recyclists.com to discuss what was that one? I'm sorry. Anyway, to discuss how to prepare a successful harvest. Talks include veggies and herbs, succession planting, soil fertility and mulching, mushroom logs. For more information, you can visit werecycletrees.com and then look under the upcoming talks section. All right, well, don't go away. Our News for Seniors segment is coming up right around the bend right after we hear from Denise and her review. Here's Denise.
Avant-Bard concludes its 27th season with Shakespeare's greatest tragedy, King Lear. The play begins with the premise that the king wishes to divide his kingdom among his 3 daughters. When he becomes disappointed with his favorite daughter, Cordelia, he banishes her and divides his kingdom between the other 2. He soon regrets his rash decisions and succumbs to his own irrationality, grief, and madness. This story focuses on the consequences of a father's poor decisions. Lear's devoted friend Gloucester is also a troubled parent. Other Shakespearean touches are included. There are disguises, betrayals, violence, insanity, and a fool who proves to be very wise. Artistic director Tom Pruitt directs this Lear with highly acclaimed Washington actor Rick Fauché as Lear, Cam McGee as a regendered Gloucester, and Christopher Henley as the fool. Just the mention of those 4 names is probably enough to suggest the high caliber of this show. The otherworldly feel of apocalyptic ruins are defined by a low circular wall and suspended tattered pieces of a dome, as envisioned by scenic designer Jonathan Dom Robertson. Costumes by Elizabeth S. Ennis are meant to suggest an ambiguous time period. Lighting designer John D. Alexander and sound designer Justin Schmitz have devised a storm so fierce that even the strongest of men might go mad trying to weather it. The intimacy of this black box theater and the audiences surrounding 3 sides of the set makes this King Lear a truly immersive experience. Much of the talk about this play will be about its excellence, or this company's ability to deliver fine performances on a modest budget. But there will also be talk of Rick Fauché's intention to retire after a 35-year career. He recently won his 5th Helen Hayes Award and has been nominated 13 times since 2000. For his last performance, he has chosen a legendary role and a chance to reunite with the director who directed him in Cooking with Elvis in 2003. He is truly leaving on a high note. He says he is ready to retire and spend evenings with his wife and family. He has traveling to do. He has definitely earned this right. Selfishly, I can only hope he changes his mind in the future. King Lear continues through June 25th. Get thee to this theater. I'm Denise Pringle. Now back to the news desk.
All right, thanks, Denise. Denise Pringle and her reviews and her spin on King Lear. Thank you, Denise. We appreciate it. As promised now, our News for Senior segment. Well, the AARP Virginia Academy Smarter Living for All Ages will take place on Saturday, June 17, from 9 to 3:30 at Lee Senior Center, Take 2 in Alexandria, Virginia. This free FRWE free event includes classes, a resource fair, and free document shredding. It's designed to help you make plans for better living. Learn about keeping your brain healthy and prepare to take care of a loved one, rather. You can they teach you how to avoid scams and frauds and much more. You'll get information about important life matters that you face today or you may encounter in the future. These tips and tools will help you decide for yourself how you want to live. Complimentary light refreshments will be served in the morning and lunch will be served in the afternoon. Pre-registration is required for this one. For more information or to RSVP, you can visit their website, which is on your screen, should be there, www.states.aarp.org/June17-Academy. Or, if that's too much for you, give them a call at 1-877-926-8300. Senor Pineda.
Absolutely, Mr. Nolan. Well, on Thursday, June the 15th, is World Elder Abuse Awareness Day, WEEAD. WEEAD was launched in 2006 by the International Network for the Prevention of Elder Abuse and the World Health Organization at the United Nations, the UN, to unite communities worldwide in raising awareness about elder abuse and acknowledge the significance of elder abuse as a public health and human rights issue. Many municipalities have declared June as Elderly Abuse Awareness Month. Each year, an estimated 5 million Americans are victims of elder abuse or neglect. Experts estimate that for each reported case of elder abuse, as many as 23 cases go unreported. Community organizations, places of worship, and small businesses, including banks, pharmacies, and grocery stores, as well as senior centers and community centers, are on the front line when it comes to elder abuse prevention. Everyone can act to protect seniors. So this year, be sure to seek out opportunities to work together to raise awareness and take action to end elder abuse and neglect. Very important information, Mr. Nolan.
You bet. All right. Thank you, Daniel. And also in our News for Seniors segment, last June, Money Watch magazine ranked Arlington, Virginia, #1 of the 5 best cities in which to retire. The perfect urban, suburban middle ground, said livability.com. Arlington scored well for well-being, walkability, taxes, health care, and cultural vitality. One attraction for all ages, Arlington's proximity to Washington, D.C., making it easy to get into the city for cultural events and or work. Way to go. Kudos, Arlington. We'll be back for sign off and bye-bye right after a little bit of a roll in here for you. Heads up for this one.
And now I want to introduce our first performer tonight. She also is an amazing DJ. You can check out her radio program on WERA 96.7 right here in Arlington. It might get loud on Tuesday evenings. And so everybody, a big round of applause for Nico, Electra.
Sounds good. You don't know when you love to run hard between the bar with your friends. Woke up in the sunlight, you don't know why. You go through the motions, you wanna die. Then you ask yourself, is it really worth staying here? Then you ask yourself, do I really have to try? Look up and I'm on street, your head in the clouds, until you forgot what happened the last time. Woke up towards Norfolk, full cars parked in line. You found yourself breakfast in the camel's run. And then you ask yourself, is it really worth staying here? And then you ask yourself, do I really have to try? Wake up in the morning, you don't know when. You ask all the questions, the answer's not there. Woke up in the sunlight, you don't know why. You go through the motions, and you wanna die. And then you ask yourself, should I hitchhike to LA? And then you ask yourself, is it really worth staying here? I walked to San Diego, and I went to LA, and I walk, the answer's not there. Woke up in the sunlight, and you don't know why. You go through the motions, and you wanna die. Thank you. We are Park Snakes, and thank you all for coming.
All right, a little video from one of our local music venues, not Iota, but the other one across
Right
the
around
street.
the corner.
Galaxy
Right around the
Hut.
corner, the Galaxy Hut. And now I know what Nico Electra is about.
Or
I think
Park
I do.
Snakes.
Or Park Snakes music, but that was either Nico Electra with Park Snake
Right.
music or Park Snakes music playing Nico Electra. I'm not sure. But we'll let you listen to a little bit of that. And the whole thing that I was working on here was this weir that I was stumbling on is werecycletrees.com.
And also-
but when it's all run together, you try it.
And also, Craig, every Thursday in June, go to Rosalind Rocks concert series.
Rosalind
every
Rocks.
Thursday in June.
Every Thursday in June,
Yeah.
Rosalind Rocks down there in Roslyn. All right, making music in Roslyn.
Lots
That's
to
about
do.
a wrap for this
Yeah.
Flag Day edition of the Arlington Weekly News for 2017. Anything else to add before we go, folks?
Happy Father's Day.
Yeah, happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day to all you dads out there. Keep
Love you,
those,
Dad.
Keep those pollinators going
Yay,
and
busy,
save our
busy, busy.
pollinators. And that's our show. So next week, if you're there, we'll be here and we'll try it all again. Have a safe week. Bye-bye.
Bye.